Have you ever wondered what the top candidates do differently in job interviews? After spending years as a recruiter and hiring for my own company, I've seen it all. The good, the bad, and everything in between. But one thing I've noticed is that the best applicants seem to follow a similar playbook. So today, I'm going to share with you the top 10 things these standout candidates do in interviews. And trust me, these tips can make a huge difference in your next interview. Now, whether you're just starting out in your career or you're looking to take it to the next level, these insights will help you nail the interview process and make a strong impression. Now, before we get started, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps support my channel and ensures that you won't miss out on any of my upcoming career tips. So first on the list, they talked about their experience in an easy to follow way. Clear communication is key, and the best candidates know how to structure their experience like a story, one with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Now, this makes it easier for the interviewer to follow along and understand the impact you've made in your previous roles. Now, one technique I recommend is the STAR method. Now, that stands for situation, task, action, and result. And by framing your experiences this way, you give the interviewer a complete picture of your skills and achievements. Now, not only does this make your answers more compelling, but it also helps you stay focused and concise. Now, if you're not familiar with the STAR method, I've got another video where I walk you through exactly how to use it to your advantage in interviews. So I'll link it right here and in the description below. Now, next, they qualified my questions with their own. Now, this is all about active listening and engagement. So instead of just waiting for their turn to talk, the best candidates made sure they fully understood the question by asking for clarification or additional details. So for example, if I asked about their experience with project management, they might ask, can you tell me more about the specific challenges this role faces in that area? Now, this showed me that they were genuinely interested in giving the best possible answer and that they weren't just on autopilot. So I recommend that you try this approach in your next interview and ask thoughtful questions in return, like how does this role contribute to the company's long-term goals? Or what does success look like in the first 6 months? Now, it's a great way to show that you're really engaged in the conversation. Now, third, they mentioned the values of the company or something about the company that had been in the news or on the company website recently. Now, this is a powerful way to show that you've done your homework. The best candidates would reference a recent initiative or core company value and then explain how their experience aligns with that. For instance, if the company had recently launched a sustainability initiative, a candidate might say, I'm really inspired by your company's commitment to sustainability, and I'd love to bring my experience in green technologies to contribute to that mission. It's small details like these that make a big difference. They show you're not just interested in any job, but in this job at this company. So fourth, they asked about me. Now, I know that might sound a bit ego-driven, but everyone likes to feel valued and recognized, and that includes interviewers. The best candidates would ask me about my journey with the company or what I enjoy most about working there. Now, this made the conversation feel more like a two-way exchange rather than a one-sided interrogation. It's a simple yet effective way to build rapport, and you could ask, what do you enjoy most about working here? Or how has your role evolved since you joined the company? Now, not only does this help you connect with the interviewer, but it also gives you some valuable insights into the company culture. Now, number 5 on the list, they picked out key points from the job description and told me about their experience with those points. Now, the best candidates don't just talk about their skills in general, they tailor their answers to the specific role they're applying for. Now, for example, if the job description emphasized teamwork and leadership, they would share specific examples where they led a team to achieve a goal. This shows that they're not only qualified, but also that they understand what's most important for the role. Now, before your next interview, I suggest highlighting 3 to 5 key points from the job description and preparing specific examples that demonstrate your competence in those areas. Now, 6, they showed that they had interests outside of work. Now, you might think employers employers only care about your professional skills, but that's not entirely true. The best candidates were those who were well-rounded. They weren't just one-dimensional, and they shared their passions, hobbies, or volunteer work, which made them more memorable and relatable. So for instance, one candidate talked about their passion for marathon running, which not only showed their commitment and perseverance, but it also sparked a more personal connection. So don't be afraid to share your interests outside of work, especially if they demonstrate skills like leadership, creativity, or teamwork. Now, seventh, they were polite. They were never late and they said please and thank you. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many candidates overlook these basic courtesies. Being punctual shows respect for the interviewer's time, and a simple thank you can leave a lasting impression. Now, after the interview, following up with a thank you email is another small but significant gesture, and it shows you're professional, courteous, and genuinely interested in the role. Now remember, these small acts of professionalism can set you apart from the competition. Now 8, they found a great balance between confidence and humility. The best candidates knew what they could bring to the role and the company, but they also embody a growth mindset. So they were confident in their abilities, but they also acknowledged that they had areas they wanted to grow in. So for example, a candidate might say, I'm really proud of the work I did on X project, but I'm also excited about the opportunity to learn more about Y. This balance shows you're self-aware and willing to grow, which is a highly desirable trait in any candidate. Now, 9th, they knew their worth and weren't afraid to hold firm on their salary expectations. The best candidates came prepared. They had done their research and they knew what the industry standard was for the role they were applying for. They stated their salary expectations confidently but respectfully, showing that they valued their own worth. Now, if you're unsure about how to approach this, I recommend researching salary benchmarks for the role and practicing how to articulate your expectations clearly and confidently. Now remember, it's okay to know your value and to stand by it. And finally, they ended their interview by clarifying the next steps, timescales, and by asking, is there anything about my skills or experience that you'd like me to clarify for you? Now this shows that you're proactive and keen to ensure that there are no misunderstandings. Now asking about the next steps also shows that you're serious about the role and eager to move forward. So for example, you might say, what are the next steps in the process? Or is there anything about my experience that you'd like me to clarify? Now, it's a great way to leave a strong final impression. Now that we've covered the top 10 things the best candidates do in interviews, I want to share a few bonus tips, strategies that can give you that extra edge and help you stand out even more. Now, these are advanced techniques that I've seen top candidates use to really impress in their interviews. Now, the first bonus tip is to demonstrate your problem-solving skills. Now, employers love candidates who can think on their feet and navigate challenges effectively. Now, the best candidates often share examples of difficult situations they've faced and how they've overcame them. This not only shows their problem-solving abilities, but also their resilience and adaptability. So before your next interview, think about a few specific challenges you've faced in your past roles and how you've resolved them. Use these examples to answer questions that ask about how you handle pressure or unexpected issues. Now, next, show genuine enthusiasm and passion for the role. So enthusiasm is contagious. It's one of the quickest ways to make a positive impression. The best candidates don't just talk about why they're qualified, but they also express why they're excited about the opportunity. Now, this could be related to the company's mission, the role itself, or even the team that you'll be working with. So be sure to convey this passion in your answers, whether it's by sharing what excites you about the job or how it aligns with your long-term goals. Now, another key trait is adaptability. So in today's fast-paced work environment, being flexible and open to change is crucial. And the top candidates demonstrate their ability to adapt by discussing times when they've had to quickly pivot or take on new responsibilities. If you have examples of how you've successfully navigated change or uncertainty in your career, make sure to bring them up, and this will show the interviewer that you can handle handle whatever comes your way in the new role. And don't underestimate the power of building rapport early in the interview. First impressions matter, and starting on the right foot can set a positive tone for the rest of your conversation. So the best candidates often begin the interview with a warm, engaging introduction and try to find common ground with the interviewer. So you might start by commenting on something interesting you noticed about the company's culture, or even making a polite observation about the interview setting. Now, it's a small gesture, but it can make a big difference in how the interview unfolds. And finally, the best candidates know how to tailor their personal brand to the job. Now, this means being clear about who you are, what you stand for, and what you bring to the table, while making sure that it aligns with the role and the company's values. So I recommend developing a concise personal brand statement that you can communicate during the interview. Now, this is especially useful when answering the classic "tell me about yourself" question. Your personal brand should reflect your strengths and the unique value you bring, tailored specifically to the job you're applying for. So we've gone through some powerful strategies that top candidates use to stand out in interviews. And by now, you should have a solid understanding of what it takes to make a lasting impression. But there's so much more you can do to take control of your career trajectory. Now, if you're looking to dive even deeper, you might want to check out my Career Growth Accelerator program. Now, this is where I really get into the nitty-gritty of everything from crafting a standout resume and optimizing your LinkedIn profile to networking effectively and building a personal brand that gets you noticed. Now, the program includes a series of in-depth videos plus one-to-one coaching sessions tailored to your specific goals. Now, if you're interested, I will drop a link in the description below. And if you like this video, don't forget to check out this video where I talk about the STAR method. I'll see you there.